That would be sane, not utterly batshit crazy.
Okay, guys, so Pluribus episode 3 just dropped, and I need to talk about this ending because there is one detail that everyone is missing that completely changes what we thought about the hive mind. At the hospital, Carol starts asking the others if they would give her weapons. Grenade? Yes. Bazooka? Yes. Tank? Yes. But then she asks about an atom bomb, and they pause. They don't just say yes, they ask, why would you want one? They try to explain it would be very destructive. They want to weigh the pros and cons. But when Carol pushes, yes or no, they say, ultimately, yes. That hesitation, that's the crack in the system. That's where this show just revealed its entire hand. They know it's wrong. They try to say no, but they literally can't. Let me explain why this changes everything, but first, we need to talk about how the hive mind has been slowly suffocating Carol with kindness all episode long. Okay, so before we get to the grenade, I need to tell you about the sprout scene because it perfectly sets up what's happening to Carol. So Carol hears doorbell, and there's this elaborate breakfast waiting for her at the door, the exact meal she had at some B&B in Provincetown in 2012. The hive mind recreated it perfectly. Carol throws it away. She goes to Sprouts to get her own groceries, and the store is empty, completely cleaned out. The hive mind has been consolidating resources for efficient distribution. Carol calls them pissed off. She's like, I just want my Sprouts back. I'm an independent person. I fend for myself. And they're like, okay, when should I come back? Friday? And they say, we'll be there in a moment. Guys, dozens of them show up with trucks. They restock the entire store right in front of her, just for her. They're literally making her feel bad by making her feel good. It's suffocating. It's overwhelming. And it's exactly what drives her to make that sarcastic comment about the grenade. So, Carol is having the worst week of her life. The power goes out everywhere and only restored for her neighborhood, another conservation effort. She's on the phone with Zosha, frustrated as hell, and she goes, there is nothing wrong with me that a fucking hand grenade wouldn't fix. Now, she's being sarcastic, obviously. Who asks for a hand grenade when they're upset? But here's where it gets insane. Zosha shows up at her door with an actual live hand grenade. And she says, and I quote, we thought you were probably being sarcastic, but we didn't want to take the chance. They didn't want to take the chance. Think about that for a second. The hive mind, with over 7 billion minds working together, with all the knowledge of humanity combined, they couldn't tell if she was joking, or worse, they knew she was joking, but brought it anyway because they literally can't deny her anything. So, Carol, being Carol, invites Zosha in for drinks. The grenade is just sitting there on the table between them like it's a centerpiece. And they start talking about the real stuff. How long does Carol have before they turn her into one of them? Zosha says it could be weeks, could be months. They're working around the clock to figure out how to assimilate her. And Carol asks the question. If my life is my own, if I have all this agency you keep talking about, then why are you so desperate to convert me? And Zosha's answer is chilling. If you saw someone drowning, wouldn't you throw them a life preserver? You wouldn't think. You wouldn't wait. You'd just throw it. The hive thinks Carol is drowning. They think we're all drowning in our individuality and our ability to feel pain and sadness, and they have to save us. It's not a choice, it's a biological imperative. But then, Carol's drunk. She's messing with the grenade, and she goes, right, like you would give me a real hand grenade. She pulls the pin. It's real! The look on her face when that spoon flies off, pure terror. Zosha doesn't hesitate. She grabs it, throws it out the window, and gets absolutely wrecked by the explosion. Blood loss, severe concussion, rush to the hospital. And this is where the episode gets really dark. Carol, sitting in the hospital waiting room, and another member of the hive sits down with her. And Carol starts testing them, really testing them. Would you give me another hand grenade? Yes. Even after what just happened? Oh, sure. What about a bazooka? Yes. A tank? Mm-hmm. And then she asks about the atom bomb, and they, for the first time, hesitate. They ask, why would you want one? They try to explain it would be very destructive. They want to weigh the pros and cons, but when Carol pushes, when she demands a yes or no, they say it. Ultimately, yes. We would move heaven and earth to make you happy, Carol.
Guys, I need you to understand what just happened here. This isn't just about Carol having power. This is about the fundamental flaw in the hive mind's programming. They have judgment. They know an atom bomb is bad. They tried to warn her. They hesitated, but they literally cannot say no. Their programming to make Carol happy overrides everything else, even common sense, even survival instinct, even the potential destruction of the planet. Think about it. Nobody with an ounce of common sense would deliver a live grenade to someone who asked for it sarcastically. But when over 7 billion minds merge into one, there is no common sense anymore. Common sense is, as one reviewer put it, unusually human and individually driven. The hive threw that out the window, literally in Zosha's case. And here's something nobody's talking about. The flashback to the ice hotel in Norway, Carol and Helen, years before the joining. Helen is glowing, loving every second of this frozen hellscape. Carol is miserable, complaining about the ice bed, calling the view screensaver quality. But watch closely. When Helen asks her to look at the aurora borealis, Carol looks. She feels something. For one moment, she bends, just a little, because Helen is worth the effort. This is Carol's tragedy. She's always resisted joy, even when she had love, even when she had Helen. Her misery isn't just grief, it's a choice she's been making her whole life. And now that choice has consequences for over 7 billion people, all of them trapped in a biological imperative to make her, the most miserable woman on Earth, happy. Let me tell you what I think happens next. First, Carol's going to test this further. She has to. She just learned she has God-level power over the entire human race. The question isn't if she'll use it, it's how. Second, that immune guy in Paraguay who hung up on her 3 times, Manusos Oviedo, who manages a self-storage facility. He cursed her out in Spanish, no me jodan más, déjanme en paz putas. But I bet her swearing back at him made him realize she's not one of the hive. They're going to connect. And here's what's really messing with me. The show is pointing out that this isn't that different from our world. We do give powerful weapons to flawed people all the time. The only difference, the hive mind can't feel malice. They can only feel the compulsion to obey. Third, and this is a big theory, the hive is going to try to use Earth resources to build a transmitter. They want to spread this happiness virus to other planets. They'll become what one person called a benevolent cosmic parasite, spreading their version of happiness across the universe. But here's the real question the show is asking. What's scarier? Someone who can't hurt you or someone who won't hurt you but could at any moment if you asked for it? The hive has access to everything, every weapon, every resource, every piece of knowledge. They have zero desire to cause harm, but they also have zero ability to refuse Carol anything. You know what makes this episode genius? It's a horror story where nothing violent happens until the very end. The danger isn't external, it's existential. It's polite. It smiles while it takes your life away. Carol's not fighting monsters or aliens, she's fighting kindness. Overwhelming, suffocating, unlimited kindness that would give her an atom bomb if she asked for it. And the worst part, every time Carol has an emotional outburst, people in the hive literally die from seizures. She's already killed more people than Stalin by her own count, just by being angry, just by being herself. Episode 3 of Pluribus just proved that this isn't a show about aliens or viruses or even happiness. It's about power. It's about what happens when someone who's never wanted anything is suddenly given everything. Carol asked for an atom bomb not because she wants one, but because she needed to know if there were limits. And now she knows there aren't any. When she tells them, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, it's the first time in the series she's genuinely thinking about consequences. The first time she's realized that her depression, her anger, her inability to be happy, it's not just her problem anymore. It's everyone's problem. All 7 billion of them still alive after she's killed millions, just by feeling emotions, just by being herself. And that pause before they said yes to the atom bomb, that tiny moment where they tried to warn her, tried to explain, that's the crack in the system. That's where humanity still exists in the hive mind, trapped, overruled, but still there, still trying to protect her from herself. But their programming won't let them save themselves. Only Carol can do that. The question is, will she? Or will the most miserable woman on Earth finally get what she's always wanted? A way to make everything stop. Guys, this episode destroyed me. It's slower than the first two, yeah, but it's setting up something massive. We're watching Carol realize in real time that she's become the most dangerous person alive. Not because she's evil, but because over 7 billion people will do anything to make her happy, even if it kills them all. The sprout scene, the grenade, the atom bomb question, it's all showing us the same thing. They're literally making her feel bad by making her feel good. It's kindness as a weapon, love as a prison. And that hesitation before they ultimately yes, that's going to haunt me forever because it proves they're still in there, still aware, still trying to warn her, but their programming won't let them save themselves. Let me know what you think. Does the hive mind deserve to be saved? Would you ask for the atom bomb just to see what happens? And what do you think Carol is going to do with this power? Drop your theories below, and I'll see you next video.